Thanks for joining us on Local 4 Live on this third day of October. I'm Jay Scott Smith, and we have a lot happening on the big show on this Friday morning. And we're going to start with a look at the city's skyline. Now, the Detroit Fire Department is teaming up with the National Fire Protection Association for Fire Prevention Week, with this year's theme being Charge into Fire Safety. The focus is going to be on the safe use of lithium-ion batteries. Now, those are the ones that are in your phones, especially if you have the old school cordless phones, iPads, drills, even your kids' toys. Now, when these batteries are damaged or overcharged, they can cause fires. To help prevent that, the fire department is hosting 3 events across the city to show families how to stay safe. And joining us this morning to talk about this is Detroit Fire Commissioner Chuck Sims. Chuck, good morning, and thank you for joining us. And you brought some props with us today, too.
I did. Good morning, Jay, and thanks for having me. And so we're having 3 events over the next week. Sunday, we're going to be at Engine 56, which is on Ryan, just south of 7 Mile, and that's going to be from noon to 3. On Wednesday, we're going to be at Engine 54, which is on Trinity and Grand River. That's going to be from 4 to 7. And then on Saturday, we'll be at Kimony Recreation Center on Fort Street, just close to Schaefer.
Now, fire safety obviously is key everywhere.
Absolutely.
What is it about fire safety that is so important here in the city of Detroit?
Well, you know, we're always going to be there in your time of need and despair, but we want to try to prevent you from calling 911. So that's why we have our Community Relations Division, our Fire Marshal Division. Their main purpose is to go out there, make sure that codes are complied with, as well as educating the public on fire safety.
Now, lithium-ion batteries, we hear a lot about them, and they are everywhere, probably more so than people realize. Like I mentioned, we've got the old school cordless phones. You could have a lithium-ion battery in your laptop, for example. You've got this power drill sitting right here. They're in iPad. They're everywhere. Yes. There are a lot of inherent dangers to lithium-ion batteries. What are things that people can do wrong when it comes to these?
So the first thing you want to do is buy correctly. When you buy a product, make sure you buy the correct charger, the approved charger, make sure it's certified by the manufacturer. That's the first thing. The second thing is charge correctly. So what you want to do is you really don't want to overcharge. You want to, once it's a full charge, you really want to disconnect it from the charger. And then just visually look at the charger, make sure it's you know, you don't have any dents or it's damaged or anything, because that can cause an overheat of the product.
Now, what are some other things, along with how people are caring for these batteries and making sure that they're not overcharging things, keeping them plugged in? What are some other things that people can do to help prevent, and seemingly, like, you may not even realize that you're doing things that could be putting you at risk of having a fire in your home? What are some things that people need to do to make sure that they're staying fire safe?
Yeah, just like I said earlier, just you know, make sure you don't overcharge. You know, e-bikes are becoming very popular now. You know, I would recommend when you're charging them to keep an eye on them, make sure you don't overcharge them. And people don't realize you have lithium ion is in everything from AA batteries all up into a vehicle. And so you just have to keep an eye on, make sure if you smell a certain odor while they're charging, of course, discharge them. And even if you see smoke or, you know, a little sense of smoke, just make sure you just keep an eye on them.
So, and that makes me even think, like, at one point, this was years ago, I had a laptop that had a lithium-ion battery, and it started to swell up.
Yes.
And those get to a certain point where they're either too old or whatever it is. Those things start to swell up. When you see something like that, that's one of those really key signs that you got to get rid of it.
You got to get rid of it. Yes, yes. And in a case where something may ignite, what I would recommend, if you can pick it up and get it out the house, do that. If you can't and you're going to risk burning yourself or someone in your home, just call the fire department. Let the professionals come do the work.
You mentioned even with cars, because now with electric vehicles, that's another thing. People will have those plugged into their homes, and then even think about it. That's a very large lithium-ion battery. So yes, even when it comes to, say, if somebody's driving an electric vehicle, you don't want to overcharge that thing either.
You definitely don't. And so we're still working on the protocols and practices for that. I mean, it's been around for a while, but it's still considered fairly new technology. So we're working with our other city agencies and across the country even to come up with new protocols to respond to these fires. But absolutely, you know, you don't want to overcharge it. I know it's hard to do. I mean, I've done it before. I've plugged my phone up and charged it overnight, but I won't be doing that any longer.
No, you do not want to make that mistake again. One more time, there are going to be these events happening. Where can people go check them out to make sure that they're staying fire safe in the city?
Sure. So Sunday, like I said, it'll be at Engine 56, 7, and Ryan. Wednesday will be from 4 to 7, Engine 54 on Trinity and Grand River, and Kimini Recreation Center on Saturday from 12 to 3. Come out, it's family friendly, it's free. It's, we're going to teach hands-only CPR as well. We're going to have inflatables for the kids. We're going to have prizes. It's going to be a good time.
This is Fire Commissioner Chuck Sims joining us this morning here on Local 4 Live, helping you stay fire safe. Chuck, thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Thanks for having me, Jay.